Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for another monthly finance update video. This one is slightly late because my boyfriend and I spent the majority of July traveling, so I simply did not have time to film this earlier, and we just got back from traveling a couple of days ago and honestly just needed a few days to catch up on sleep and chores and life stuff. So I feel much more rested now to come back and film this video, so I hope you don't mind it being a few days late. But anyway, in this video, we're gonna go over my finances for the month of July. We're gonna go over my exact income, how much I spent in July, how much I invested, how much progress I made towards my 2025 financial goals. I'm also going to do a little overview of my August budget. I won't be doing a budget with me since we're already 10 days into August and I've already spent money and budgeted it out because I couldn't wait to film this video. But I will be doing a little check-in to see how the month is going and just share where my money is going this month. And we're also going to be doing a little net worth update and an exciting CoastFI update. So yeah, if all that sounds interesting to you, then keep on watching. And for those of you who are new here, I don't know if I said this, but my name is Alyssa. I am 35 years old. I currently live in Middle Tennessee with my boyfriend Tyler and our Aussie Doodle Zeke. He will be joining me for the video. But yeah, we rent this townhouse apartment together and I do marketing as a remote contractor. That's how I receive the majority of my income, but I also have a couple of side hustles and I have a really also exciting update on one of my income sources. It should be in the title, but I did receive my first YouTube paycheck this month, which is super exciting. And I just want to sincerely thank all of you for subscribing and watching my videos. It helped me get monetized and get that first paycheck. So I'll be sharing that amount when I break down my income shortly. And then I also just wanted to thank you guys for getting me to 1.5K subscribers. I'm just so thankful for this community. You're all so nice and motivating, and I hope that in turn I can motivate you back and we can all just be on this financial journey together. With all that being said, let's hop into my income and expense report for July. Okay, so here we are in my income and expense report in YNAB. This is the software that I use to budget and track my income and expenses and track my net worth. So I do have a link in the description box. If you find this software interesting, you want to check it out for yourself, you can get a 34-day free trial. You don't need to input any credit card information, which I love. So if you forget about the trial, you're not going to accidentally be charged and have to deal with that. So I really like that. Once your trial ends and you don't pay for it, it just goes away. But if you use my link and you do end up purchasing it, you can get an extra 30 days for free, and I also get a 30 days for free. So I really appreciate anyone who goes out of their way to use my link. I really hope that you enjoy YNAB as much as I do. But anyway, let's get into this report here. So we're in July of 2025. We'll start with my income first. My first source of income in July was Ambetter Rewards. Ambetter is my health insurance and they offer cash rewards if you do certain activities on their website. I got a lot more cash back last month because I had a physical in June and a couple of the things that I got done, a couple of the tests, and just getting the physical done, they give you cash rewards that you can put on a Visa prepaid gift card. So a little bit higher last month, but I am not gonna complain about that. An extra $100 for doing what I would do anyway. So $100 there. And then cash back. This was all from a couple of credit cards that I use for cash back. So I made a total of $11.74. It was a little bit lower last month just because I was traveling and I use my travel card, my Chase Preferred card. It has a 3% cash back on restaurants and we were doing a lot of dining out when we were traveling. So I would pull out that card. And that card, I don't cash out the points for cash back. I convert them into travel points for the Chase portal, where they're worth 25% more when you book through the Chase portal. So yeah, that's why my cash back is a little bit lower, because most of the cash back that I got last month is going towards travel points. And then my biggest source of income is the contractor work that I do. This is my gross income. So I made $6,200. I also made $67.28 from my high yield savings accounts. And the exciting one for last month, I did receive my first YouTube paycheck. Again, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. This one was a little bit higher. You only have to hit a $100 threshold to be paid out. I was almost at the $100 threshold, and then one of my videos in May, my $200,000 net worth update video, went not viral, but like it got a lot more traction than my videos usually do. And I think that video alone made me an extra like $100. So that's why my first paycheck is a little bit more than the $100 threshold. So again, thank you guys so much for watching these videos and commenting and liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. So all in all, I made a total of $6,606.15. So now we'll go down to my expenses for the month. The first one is my investing. I invested a total of $2,382. I invest $500 from each of my paychecks, and then I also invest all of my extra income. So things like my YouTube income, my interest payment, and my cash back and Better rewards. I go ahead and invest that all. The next category group is food and drink. This one is a lot lower than it normally is, because I personally like to, when I travel, I just track everything as travel. I don't track going out to eat during travel as dining out, just because when I look at my reports at the end of the year, I don't want travel to skew the reports for my normal day-to-day dining out. So dining out, we only spent $54. We went out for Mexican. And then groceries, we spent, well, this is my half. I share the finances with my boyfriend. So this is my half of what we paid for dining out and groceries. I spent a total of $132.06 on groceries, because again, we only needed like 10 days worth of groceries in July because we were gone. And then supplements, I spent $15.61 on a multivitamin that I get. So all in all, spent a total of $201.67 on food and drink. Life variable. This is going to be where the bulk of my spending came from last month. The first category here is gifts and good vibes. It was my dad's birthday. I got him an Amazon gift card. Household, $25.10. Looks like I bought some nose strips and some paper towels and some wipes for a total of $25.10. Medical, I did have to pay out of pocket for some labs that weren't covered by my insurance. Luckily, it was only $22.23, so that is not bad. And obviously it gets evened out with all that cash back that I made from doing things on their portal and getting the cash back reward for doing that annual exam in the first place. So not too disappointed at having to pay that. Personal care, $11.41. I bought some face wash. Seeing and doing. So this is my entertainment category. And we spent a lot last month. This was my half. We ended up going to Nashville for the 4th of July to see the fireworks. We're about like 45 minutes out of Nashville, so it's fun every once in a while to go have a night on the town, go to Broadway, see some live music. And the 4th of July, it sounds like it would be extremely overwhelming. And I'm not someone who enjoys crowds. I really don't like crowds at all and loud noises and stuff. But somehow it doesn't feel very crowded on the 4th of July. Going to Nashville, And the bars, it's like the first level of the bars are the most crowded, but they're not even as crowded as you would think that they would be because most people are outside during the 4th of July. So when you go into a bar, if you just go up to the second or third floor, we could get seats right away everywhere that we went on the 4th of July. So we had a great time. We spent too much money drinking, and we got a great seat on the lawn to watch the fireworks at the end of the night. So yeah, it was a good day. So all in all, that cost me $245.77. And then the next category, stuff and things, I spent $657. Oh, I bought a case for my work laptop because I was going to be traveling with it. So I wanted to make sure that it was protected. And then the big bulk of my life variable spending was obviously on travel. I spent a total of $1,259.99, which honestly is not bad considering all that we did. So if I scroll back to the beginning of the month, we bought some stuff to go camping at Lake Cumberland with my boyfriend and his family friends. We rented a little KOA cabin on Lake Cumberland in Kentucky. So this $220 was our share of that cabin and pitching in for boat gas. And yeah, just bought some stuff while we were there, bought some food to eat while we were there. And then next, we went to Denver to visit my boyfriend's cousin. So we stayed there for the week and we ended up going to Estes Park, and we also rented a cabin there for a night, which was so awesome. It's like at the, what do you call it? Like the foot of the Rocky Mountains. And then we did drive into Rocky Mountain National Park. I think that was my first time ever being in a national park. I've been plenty of state parks, but I think that was my first national park, and it was beautiful. Like, that's all I can say about that. From Denver, we went straight to Bend, Oregon to visit my brother and his girlfriend. And we stayed there for a total of 12 days. And I think 9 of those days, my brother and his girlfriend were actually gone. They were out of the country, out of the continent. They were in Europe traveling. And then my boyfriend and I stayed at their place and dog sat their dogs. So everybody wins in that scenario. We get a beautiful vacation with free accommodations in Bend, Oregon. We just had to pay for our flights and then obviously like food and stuff while we're there. But usually the bulk of your expenses when you're traveling are on your accommodation. So it's always really nice to be able to stay with family and get that for free and be able to spend so much more money elsewhere on like souvenirs and food. And we also spent a lot on alcohol. In Bend, Oregon, there's a river that runs through the town and people will tube on that river. It gets really busy on hot summer days and it's just really fun to grab a tube, walk down to the river, bring a cooler of drinks, and you can get like, I think it's about an hour and a half float down the river. So just a really nice thing to do on a hot summer day. So all in all, life variable, I spent $1,621.07. Then Zeke the Freak, that is our dog. Is he in the background? No. Sometimes he sits on the back of the couch here where that blanket is. He might be joining us later in the video, but on food and supplies, I spent $18 on a 14-pound bag of food, which is crazy because this lasts him, I think, close to 3 months. Like, we can feed him for close to 3 months on this $18 bag. I think eventually we will look into getting him some like higher quality food, but for now, this is this is great. We can feed him pretty cheap because he's just a small guy. He doesn't eat that much. So all in all, I spent $18.09 on Zeke the Freak. Then fixed and recurring, these are just my monthly bills. Rent, I spent on my half $1,014. This was the last month that my boyfriend and I had a free, July was our last month of free Wi-Fi, and then starting in August, we are supposed to pay the $60 for Wi-Fi every month. Then electric and water, spent a total of $119.54, hoping that it'll be a little bit lower in August because we are billed in the following month for the previous month's utilities. So hopefully, since we were gone for most of July and I raised our AC up while we were gone so that it wasn't kicking in as much, and obviously we weren't using a lot of water while we're gone, hopefully my half is below $100. Like, that should be pretty doable. Hopefully it's like $80 for August, but we'll see. Then for gym, I spent $15 on my gym membership. Health insurance, I spent $62.65 as usual. $38 on my phone. I'm on a family plan with my mom, so I just Venmo her this money every month. And then my usual monthly subscriptions, $32.73. I am subscribed to Hulu. And then Acorns, this is one of my brokerage accounts that I have a monthly subscription for. Honestly, it's like not worth the hassle to move this brokerage to a different brokerage that doesn't have a fee, because it would cost me $75 per fund that I'm in. So it would cost a total of $300 to move my account. And that's like a lot of months of this fee. So I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it to transfer it out. I'll just pay the $1 a month to have it there. And then Discovery Plus, because my boyfriend and I are addicted to a 90 Day Fiance, and that's what is on Discovery Plus. So yeah, all in all, $32.73 on subscriptions for a total of $1,281.92 on my monthly recurring bills. And then admin stuff. So reimbursements. This is, what is this? So Tyler paid me for rent, and then he paid $30 for August rent. Oh, I think they accidentally didn't charge us, maybe it was for July. Anyway, one of the months my apartment didn't collect the Wi-Fi fee, and then we started having to pay for it in August. So one of these is Tyler's previous Wi-Fi fee that they may come back for, and then $30 of this went towards the August Wi-Fi fee, which they did charge us this month. So anyway, the $60, it's just going to sit there until my apartment may or may not come back for the Wi-Fi that they forgot to charge us. And then statement credits. This was on one of my cards that I use, on my Chase cards. They offer statement credits as like a cashback offer on certain stores. So they were offering, I think it was 5% back on Kroger purchases. So I got that back as a statement credit, and that goes down here as an inflow. And then I probably assigned this to my investing or somewhere else, or maybe to my travel category, I'm not sure. But all in all, my expenses for the month were $5,442.17 for a total net income of $1,163.98. I don't really pay attention to my net income here very much. It doesn't mean much to me because with YNAB, I'm able to save for big recurring expenses. For example, like car maintenance or my car insurance that I actually just paid for in August, and also paying for my quarterly taxes. Those are big things that usually bring my expenses way up for a month, but it doesn't necessarily ring any alarm bells for me because I saved for those over the course of months. It's not like I need to really pay attention to my net income. This is purely just math of what went in and what went out for the month. And if it were negative, that just means that I had a big expense that I had already previously saved for or just covered the money somehow from somewhere else, but it doesn't mean that I was like negative in my accounts or anything. So yeah, that is my income and expenses for July. Let's hop on over to my 2025 financial goal tracker. Here we are in my 2025 financial goal tracker. Just a disclaimer, I did not make this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is from Leila here on YouTube, Personal Finance with Leila. I absolutely love her videos and I love this spreadsheet. I love the layout of it. So this is what I use to track my goals. If you want a copy of this spreadsheet, I will link her Etsy shop below where you can purchase it. So anyway, my first goal for this year is to make $5,000 in extra income. So this is income that comes outside of the contractor work that I do for my weekly paychecks. So it's things like the high yield interest, the YouTube income, everything that I shared in the previous section. So in July, I made a total of $406.15 in extra income. I outlined all of this in the previous section when I went over my income, but I just made it a note here. All in all, this year, I've made a total of $2,924.98 in extra income. I'm pretty much on track for the year, maybe slightly behind. I do plan on maybe opening one more checking account for a bonus before the end of the year. And then hopefully I can also get a couple more YouTube paychecks to help with this goal. But yeah, just more of like a fun goal to push me to make more outside of my day job. And I'm happy with my progress so far. And then my next goal this year is to make $90,000 in gross income. So this includes my normal day job, my contractor work, as well as the extra income that I make. So like I said in the previous section, I made a total of $6,606.15 so far this year. I'm a little behind on this goal, but I don't feel the need to lower this or anything. We'll just keep it and see what happens. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of the year and anything can happen. Maybe I'll get like a random $10,000 gift or something. But yeah, not too concerned there, just fun to track it and motivate me to try to make more money. My next goal is to have $10,000 in my car fund. So this is a fund that I track in YNAB, and I just want to have $10,000 as a good base in this fund to be able to at some point buy a new car or a new to me car. I like to buy my cars used. I don't have any plans to buy a new car in the next 5 years, hopefully, but I do want to have $10,000 there just in case. And then also in the future, I know that I will want to buy another car. So eventually I'd like to have 15, 20 grand in here to help with that. But 10,000 is a good base. I also use this money for car maintenance and car repairs and getting new tires, things like that. So in the month of July, I contributed $200, which this is what I'm going to be contributing every month moving forward. I will be short if I'm only contributing $200 a month. However, September and December are 5 paycheck months for me. So I'm hoping with that extra income, I can use some of that to beef up this goal to help me reach that $10,000. So I've contributed $8,700 so far this year, 87% of the way there. I will for sure hit this as long as I don't have any major car repair that needs to happen before the end of the year. And then my next goal is to invest $45,000. In the month of July, I contributed $2,382. Total invested this year is $26,241, which means I have $18,759 left towards this goal. This goal is pretty steep. I would need to make a lot more extra income to be able to hit this goal, but again, not too concerned about it. It's more of like a motivational stretch goal to try to invest as much as I possibly can this year, but I'm not going to go out of my way and strip away money from other like quality of life categories just to hit this year. I'm very happy with my progress so far. My next goal is to have $200,000 invested total across my accounts, and this does not include my crypto. So I want $200,000 invested in everything that I like to count as retirement. I just personally don't like to count crypto in this number just because crypto is so volatile and I just don't want to count on it. And I mean, hopefully it goes up, but yeah, I just think it's smarter to kind of keep it to the side and track it for fun, but not necessarily like count on it for retirement. In July, my accounts, my brokerages and retirement accounts went up by $6,057.84. So I ended July with a total of $175,821.83. I'm $24,000 away, which, like I said, I don't know that I will be able to hit this $18,000 more that I need to hit my $45,000 goal. I'll definitely hit this at some point in early 2026 if I don't hit it by the end of the year. Again, this is more of like a fun tracking goal. It would be really cool to hit this number, but I could hit it if the markets keep being really nice to us, which they were the past few months. But yeah, just more of a tracking goal. I don't have as much control over this one. The next goal is super exciting. So my next goal is to hit CoastFI at 67. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with CoastFI, it's the idea or the concept of having enough invested in your accounts today that with no more contributions, your investments would continue to grow to a traditional retirement age. So like for me, I'm tracking the age of 67. I want to be able to withdraw $60,000 a year. So my CoastFI number is actually, I think in the month of July, it was right around $175,000. I'll put a screenshot of it on the screen and I will link a calculator down below that you can use to find your own CoastFI number and see if you're on track to hit that. But yeah, so in the month of July, with that $175,000 invested, I am on track with these calculations to be able to withdraw that $60,000 a year with no further contributions. This is so exciting to me because I only just became financially literate in 2023, in my 30s. I spent all of my 20s and the beginning of my 30s basically living paycheck to paycheck. I got rid of my debt by the time I was 25, but I didn't know what to do beyond that. I didn't have retirement accounts. I didn't open my Roth IRA until I was about to turn 30. And I'm going to do a whole video on my investing journey because I think that would be really interesting to look at. But yeah, so I'm very new to this. And when I did first start learning about financial responsibility, I got kind of scared at like how behind I felt. So my goal for the last 2 years was to basically catch up or hopefully like surpass where I would have been if I had been contributing like the recommended, 10 to 15% towards my retirement, because I was not at all contributing that much before my 30s. This goal is more of like a safety net and a sense of comfort that I've now caught up to where I feel like I could have been. Obviously, we're all on different journeys, and this was my journey, and now I'm here. I can't look back and have regrets of where my money went. I can only look forward. And so I'm just really happy with the progress that I've made and that I've come this far. And I don't have any plans to stop contributing. Again, this is mostly a tracking goal and just like a sense of knowing that if I were to lose my job tomorrow, I would only have to worry about paying my living expenses. I would not have to worry about contributing to retirement because I know that I can still retire comfortably at a traditional retirement age. And obviously, this figure is such a rough estimate. Like I said, I'm not planning to actually coast to retirement. It's just a fun thing that I wanted to track and hit, and I did it. So really excited to see the progress that I continue to make towards this. I will probably next year start tracking like an earlier CoastFI goal, maybe like 62 or 60 or something, and just see like how much I can lower that retirement age based on being able to withdraw $60,000 a year. And again, this goal is in today's dollars. So I'm tracking for myself to have 1.5 million in today's dollars to be able to withdraw $60,000 a year, which is about 4%. And that is including inflation. But yeah, I will have the calculator down below if you want to play with that for yourself. This is my first 2025 goal that I have met, and I am just so excited that I made that happen and that all my hard work has paid off, and that all of the extra income that I've been putting towards my investments in the past couple of years have gotten me to this point. I'm just very excited. So yeah, let's hop on over to my net worth tracker. Here we are in my net worth tracker. So we'll just jump right in. All of the cash that I had across my checking accounts, savings accounts, and literal cash in my wallet came out to a total of $27,681.84. My solo 401k ended at $46,303.54. My SEP IRA ended at $30,818.36. My Roth IRA went up to $58,042.48. My HSA went up to $10,844.37. My two taxable brokerage accounts ended at $28,549.08. And my crypto jumped up to $25,207 for a total of $227,446.67 in assets. Now we have to subtract my liabilities. So my credit card statement balances that I pay off every month, this is a liability against me because I owe it to the credit card company, so I don't count it in my net worth. I owed a total of $2,960.90 at the end of July. And then I also personally like to subtract my tax savings because I am a contractor. I have to pay quarterly taxes. And again, this is money that I owe the government every time I get income. I automatically owe taxes on it. So I just subtract that from my net worth because it is a liability of something that I owe to someone. So that is a total of $1,656. So my total liabilities were sitting at $4,616.90. So I ended July with a net worth of $222,829.77. So we broke 220,000, which is super exciting. I can't wait to see what I end the year at because we have had some crazy growth this year. In fact, just in the since April, we've had a total of $37,000 of growth, which obviously a lot of that was coming back from February and March being down, but that is just really crazy to see it go up that much. But yeah, that's where my net worth is sitting as of the end of July. So let's finally hop over to YNAB and take a look at how my budget is going for August. All right, so here we are in my August budget in YNAB. So I am a month ahead and have already fully funded my month with the money that I'll need. I've gotten paid twice so far and have put $775 per paycheck into this next month category, which will get me to $3,100, which will then go towards September. I almost said July. That will go towards September. That $3,100 is everything that I like to be a month ahead in. And then I just personally like to pay or set aside the money for my investing in my taxes every week when I get paid, just because I wouldn't do either of these things unless I received income, so they're not necessary to fund ahead for myself personally. So far, I've invested $1,200 this month with some extra income, and then $500 per paycheck that I invest. So yeah, I do have my $45,000 goal set up as a target here, but I don't set up like a monthly target. It's just to kind of see how on track I am with this goal. And then same with taxes, I set like an overall $15,000 goal as kind of a safety net. I have a buffer. I won't actually owe $15,000, hopefully, but I like to have that buffer. And with the amount that I'm contributing on a weekly basis, that will get me to that $15,000 goal by my first quarterly payment of 2026. So that's why those look behind, but they're not. And then I just want to touch on something that I don't really talk about too much in YNAB, but I pay most of my expenses with credit cards, with the exception of one of my utility bills that needs a debit card or like an ACH transfer, and then my rent, which also needs an ACH transfer to avoid a fee. But since I pay the majority of my expenses on credit cards, I do have to keep track of my credit card statements and make sure that I am able to pay those off every month. YNAB makes it so easy because you can see these are all my credit cards. I put them at the bottom. YNAB usually defaults them to the top, but I personally I never need to look at them because I am not on the credit card float. I make sure that every single thing that I buy, I already currently have the money for, which YNAB kind of forces you to do. So these bubbles are all green. All of this $3,243.62 is money that I owe on my credit cards as of right now in August, but these bubbles are green, so that means that this money is set aside specifically to pay off my credit cards, and I don't have to worry about if I have enough. All I have to look at is make sure that I have enough in whatever checking account that I use to pay off the credit cards. I just have to make sure I like transfer enough to be able to pay off the credit card, but I don't have to worry about like, will I be able to buy groceries or something if I pay off my credit card, because all of that has been accounted for down here. So let's go back up here. Next up in my food and drink category, hoping that this spending will be a little bit lower this month just because we were gone for the first week of August traveling. So we didn't need groceries and we didn't like use any alcohol or dining out budget in the first week. We budgeted our normal amounts for the month and hoping that we can have some money left over and either roll it into September or put it towards my investing goal or something, but we'll see. I feel like things always come up, and then even though we weren't here for the first week, we will somehow spend like $600 in groceries. I don't know, but hoping that we come out ahead. And I did just do a huge grocery run that I'm hoping will coast us until September. We'll probably just need like a few things here and there, which I can use this money for, or my boyfriend also has his own YNAB budget where he can pay for those things. This is just what I contribute to the household. So hoping that that will be the majority of what I spend on groceries. That would be awesome. Moving on to life variable. So far, I've bought a couple of things for decor and fixtures. I bought a couple of frames. My boyfriend and I finally got around to putting up some things on the walls in our apartment, made it feel so much homier. We got really inspired because my brother in Bend, Oregon, he has always had such a skill, like such an eye for furnishing and decorating his apartments, and it just being in his new apartment that he just moved into like a month before we visited, it's already just perfectly curated and furnished. Obviously, he and his girlfriend had a lot of things before they moved in. They didn't have to buy a whole lot, so they really just had to like place it. But I just wish that he could come and like furnish my apartment for me, because I feel like I just don't have an eye for those things. I feel like I've done okay so far. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad, but yeah, anyway, all that to say, we got really inspired to try to like finish as much as you can finish decorating your apartment, at least get some things up on our walls because they were pretty bare. So spent some money on some frames and let's see, made my normal contribution to my Gifts and Good Vibes fund, trying to get this up before Christmas, and a couple of weddings coming up too that we'll need some cash for, but we'll just kind of see where this ends up in December. December, like I said, is one of my 5 paycheck months, so if I need some extra money for Christmas in there, then hopefully I can pull from my paycheck. But honestly, I'm hoping that I can talk my family into going gift free for the holidays. I feel like none of us really care about gifts. Like, we just like spending time together. I feel like that's how everyone is. And our family just gets like so stressed out with the whole gift giving aspect and like making sure everyone's gifts are perfect and that everyone's happy. It adds so much unnecessary stress. Like, it takes the fun of gift giving away, because my family also does like lists, and I'm not gonna name names, but like some people in my family may or may not get like disappointed if they don't get things on their list. So it just adds a lot of stress, and like, we're all adults. We can just buy things on our list if we want them. And I would just so much rather spend money traveling, because our family's also spread out across 4 different states. So some of us have to travel to each other. So that is also a big cost in Christmas, is just traveling for Christmas. So hoping maybe I can talk my family this year into going gift free and just maybe even doing like a destination Christmas instead, or I don't know, something. Or maybe we postpone Christmas until like next summer and do a big, summer vacation together somewhere or something. Like, that would just make me so much happier than stressing about buying everybody gifts that they'll like. But that's enough of that. So household budgeted my $45. I've spent a little bit on some stuff, bulbs, returning bulbs, and I bought some glass straws today for my coffee that I drink. I lost one of my good stainless steel straws, and now I'm just left with these that I think are for like a tumbler, and I think the top is supposed to have like a silicone extender thing that I don't have, so this is just kind of like awkward to drink out of. So I just bought a pack of glass straws that will hopefully be a little better. Honestly, not a super necessary purchase, but honestly, I should probably put that in my stuff and things, because my household category is more for like things to run the household, like cleaning supplies, toilet paper, paper towels, and like very basic hygiene things like soap and like drugstore shampoo or something. Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and fix that later and put it in my stuff and things category, because this category is more for like just frivolous, like any physical object that I buy goes here. So yeah, probably switch that out after this video. Medical, just put $15 towards this fund, trying to build this up because next year I'll probably be going to the doctor a lot more. I need to switch my insurance. A lot of my providers are dropping my insurance, so I'll probably have to switch to like United Healthcare or something so that I can go. I need to go back to the ENT and possibly get another sinus surgery, or just like figure out what is happening. I had sinus surgery back in 2023, and I feel like things are just slowly going backwards, and I feel like I'm almost back to where I started. So I need to figure out what is going on there and see if we need to go back in with some surgery or if something else can help. Personal care, what did I spend? Oh yeah, I bought some more face wash because I just wanted to stock up before I cancel my Amazon thing. So what happened is I was on my parents' Amazon account, but you can only have like 2 people per household or something, and my dad wanted to get on it to get ebooks or something. Anyway, it's their account, so they were very graciously letting me use it, but then my dad wanted to use it, so I got kicked off. So instead of paying the $15 a month, I think it is, I just did you can do like a 30-day free trial. So I did that, and I've been like stocking up on things, and I did a grocery run on it, but I'm just gonna let it cancel, it cancels in a couple of days. But yeah, just been like stocking up on a couple of things while I have the free subscription and the free shipping. And then I don't think that I will subscribe to Amazon, but we'll see. Maybe my boyfriend and I could share the monthly subscription or something, but I really would rather like get away from Amazon and just do more shopping myself at like physical stores, or just order things directly from the brands on their own websites instead of on Amazon. I think that would be better, but that's that for now. And then seeing and doing, I contributed my $75, so that fund is at $250 for whatever entertainment may come up. Stuff and things. What have I bought so far? Oh, I bought a mic that I'm currently using. Hopefully it sounds good, but bought a mic and something to go with it, a USB adapter, so that I could use it in my laptop. That's all I spent so far, and just trying to build this up in case in the future I want to buy something that's like a couple $100. Maybe I want to buy a camera in the future, because I currently actually use my phone as my camera, which is kind of inconvenient because I'd like to be able to use my phone to look at numbers and notes and stuff when I film these videos, but for now it's my camera. That's all for that. I do have a therapy appointment next month, or next week, so that will be $165. And then travel, this is where I spend my travel money from. So in the month of August, I spent another $264.36 on travel because our trip extended into August when we were in Oregon. So yeah, some last minute Oregon spending and then some very expensive airport spending. But this is my spending category. And then I have savings down here, my adventure fund, where I'm saving for future travel. Probably at some point, either later this year or next year, I am possibly going to get rid of this banana stand and just keep all of my money like on my budget, even if it's savings. I don't know. I might want to get away from like savings category. Everything is a savings and spending category at the same time. It just depends on like how soon you're spending something. Like even the money that I have for groceries, the $67.91 is savings that I'm saving for the next time that I buy groceries, you know, but it's also spending money. Like there's no difference between this and like future travel. It's all going to get spent. It's just a matter of when you spend it. So yeah, anyway, just a little rant there. So like these extra spending categories I have, like I have one for travel, and then I have one down here for like car maintenance. I don't fund this, but I spend from it and then I fund it from my car fund. I think I might want to get away from doing that in the future, but that is a video for another day. So where were we? Okay. Zeke. Yeah, we don't need any food or supplies for him. We just got him groomed, so we're good there. And then I contributed $25 towards his vet fund, so we're up to $650 there, which is exciting. And then rent, yeah, I have an extra $30 sitting here because like I said, last month they forgot to charge us. I'm gonna have to look. Maybe last month was our last month of free Wi-Fi. I don't know. But anyway, I have this extra $30 sitting here in case they come back for that, for not charging us for Wi-Fi 1 month. And then I have my boyfriend's $30 down here too. Electric and water, like I said, hopefully this month it'll be like $80, and maybe I can take out some money from here and use it elsewhere this month, but we'll see. Got $15 towards gym, $62.65 towards health insurance as usual. Already paid my phone bill this month. Services and fees, this is, so I paid $65 towards a Costco annual fee, so that came out of here. And then this category also funds my annual fee for one of my credit cards and anything else random that comes up like that. And then subscriptions, I'm trying to beef this up a little bit because next month I do have a Google storage fee that's going to come out that I don't have enough money for, but I also have an extra paycheck next month, so I might use some of that money to fund this up to the amount that I would need to be able to pay that subscription next month, plus my normal monthly subscriptions, but we will worry about that next month. Gas, I won't need any more gas. I bought a tank and that should be good. I really don't drive that much, and when I do, it's not that far, basically to the gym and back. And then insurance and registration, I was planning on shopping for different car insurance this month because I thought that my insurance was going to go up, but it actually went down. When I first started, I think this was 2024? Yeah, 2024 in February, it was $346, and then you can see it kept going up. And then now it came out to $388. So it went down, what is that? Almost $60. So I think this was, they sent me a letter about it. Like I got a discount for being with them, for being like a loyal customer for more than 2 years, and then also being accident free for so long. So I was very happy with that. I'm very happy if it's like $400 or below. I don't feel the need to find cheaper car insurance. I am with State Farm, by the way, which was like so much lower than Geico and Progressive for me. I think Geico and Progressive were like close to $600, and so State Farm was so much lower. I live in Tennessee and I am 35 years old and I drive a 2015 Nissan Altima, just for reference, if you want to check out State Farm and see if they can offer you a similar savings. No complaints there. And then, like I said, I don't fund maintenance, but if anything come up, I would spend from there and fund it with my car fund. So here's my banana stand where I save for things. So I didn't actually set aside $825 this month. This is just what I moved down from my travel spending category that was left over from my trips. So I just moved it down here to continue saving for future travel and just get it out of my variable spending up here, just so that I'm not tempted to like take from it for other categories. But the longer I've been budgeting and using YNAB, I've realized that I never do that. Like I know my priorities, obviously, of things that I know I will need money for, and travel is just something that I do not touch. Even when I do travel, I like to cash flow things if I can, rather than touching my travel savings. So yeah, I just know myself and I know that I wouldn't touch it. Also, it was kind of a leftover concept. I used to budget purely fun money categories. Like this life variable was fun money only. And so I liked being able to look at this available category every month and seeing what money I had available to spend on any of my fun money categories, because I would actually just give myself an allowance in a holding category. I wouldn't budget it out to specific categories. I would just have, I don't know what it was, $600 a month. And then if I spent things for fun, I would just fund the categories with that money and just spend like a total of $600 on fun. But I got away from that. And so yeah, like I said, I don't think I'm going to be doing this much longer where I have separate spending categories to like hide money from myself in savings categories, because the longer I've been doing this, I don't need to squirrel away that money anymore from myself. And then let's see, did my $200 towards my car fund, $100 towards my compassion, which is my yearly donation that I'm going to do in December. I will be donating $1,200 because that is when a lot of charities and foundations do matching, so your money goes a lot further. And then my sock fund, aka my clothing fund, is at $155. I'm going to need to buy a dress this month because I have 2 weddings next month and I need a dress that is appropriate to wear to those. So hopefully that will be enough, or at least the majority of it. But I don't buy from expensive stores, so I think this will be more than enough for a dress. Tech replacement, that reminds me, I still need to call. I've been doing like e-tickets with our router. So our router bit the dust because it got surge damage from a storm. So I'm trying to contact the company, because we have a warranty, to see if they will send us a replacement router so that we can return the new one that we bought. We only have like a couple more weeks in the return window, which is fine. Like if we miss the return window, but we can still get a replacement router, then maybe we can just sell the router brand new on like eBay or something, or Facebook Facebook Marketplace and get some of our money back. But yeah, it's just been so annoying because they've been like not helpful at all in my support tickets. And then after like a few weeks of trying that, they were like, this is way more complicated than we can do in a ticket. Go ahead and give us a call. So I just need to like muster up the energy to call. And it's also just like annoying because they make you troubleshoot the router. And in order to do that, I have to disconnect our current router because you can only have one router connected to your ISP at once. Anyway, you guys don't need to know all that, but hoping that this tech replacement fund will get over $1,000 once we can get a new router replaced from that company under warranty. And then my general income replacement fund is at $4,000, which I am fine with. So I have this view up here, bare bones, of what I would fund in case of loss of income. So let's go to September and like see what all of these. Okay, so underfunded is $1,800. So let's just round it up to $2,000 is what I would need to survive while I am looking for another job. So I'm a month ahead already in $3,100 a month ahead. So that's already like 1.5 times what I would need. And then plus I have an extra 2 months in here. So I'm pretty happy with that. Plus, like I've mentioned in like all of my videos, pretty much all of this money, all in my budget, all of my cash that I have on hand can be an emergency fund. Obviously, these dollars are what I have earmarked for specific emergencies, or obviously like these aren't emergencies, but if I had an emergency, I would obviously pull from my travel fund to cover an emergency if like this money isn't enough. So yeah, I'm fine with where this income replacement is at. And then these administrative categories, I don't do anything with. This is just what I use to like Venmo my boyfriend back and forth. And like when he pays me his half of the rent, it comes down here. And yeah. So that is my budget for August. Hopefully this wasn't too chaotic and rambly, but if it was, then hopefully you like that sort of thing. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. If you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. All right, bye guys.